Hey y'all, we're out in the garage here. We got all the base coat paint, base color on the chassis here. Took two go rounds, but she's about as well covered as she's going to get at this point. We're going to put the effects on now. Where I'm not going to do it today. It's already 3:30 in the afternoon. It's January 19th, right? Zero day. Yeah, 19th of January. It's Tuesday. So I just did the last coat to it yesterday. It's dry, obviously, even though it's cold outside. I got a winter hat on. It's completely dry, but we're gonna wait, give it one more day, and then we're gonna really decide what we're gonna do. Are we gonna go with the orange pearls? Really, the orange pearl was for my helmet and for the body work on the new Kart. We're going to do the orange or all orange pearl and put the graphics on that car. So I'm either gonna get itchy and want to see what the pearl looks like on orange, and we're going to do it, or we'll do the bass boat flake on here like we did on the other chassis on the other 125, and the orange paint on the nose of the other 125. In the sun, that's a really cool effect, that bass boat flake. It's mini bass boat flake. It really catches the sun and glistens and gleams, and it's going to hide a lot of the sin. You see here the file marks and grinder marks or whatever, where we didn't get it real super smooth. A lot of that stuff we could see through the primer, and thought, well, maybe if we get a good amount of paint on it. Well, the paint didn't really hide it all that much. So now bass boat flake effect will definitely hide a lot of that stuff, because your eye is going to be drawn to the sparkle and not to the sin underneath it, so to speak. The how it's not really 10/10 underneath. So it is what it is. We got a little allegation underneath here, just right here. You can't see it, and you won't be able to see it once the cart's sitting on the ground. It's literally on this part of the tube. I don't know if it was just got too heavy there, and it actually lifted a little bit, like alligator skin. That's why they call it allegation. But the rest of it all turned out pretty good. It's all covered. It's all orange. Funny, it still does not, even though it's dry, it's still not as dark as the orange on that lathe. Man, it's just not the same orange. Maybe it's just because it's directly under the light that it looks a little lighter orange. But we were hoping for more of that dark orange so we could actually lighten it up with the pearls. But it's really going to look a lot more like a Repsol bottle, which is what we were shooting for. Obviously with the wheel. It's a bit darker than this bottle, obviously. Right? But it's, and that's a little darker too. But it's real close to, a lot closer, I should say, where it's bright. A lot closer in color than the wheels. So maybe we do both. Maybe we throw a little pearl on it just to see what it does. This is really now looking, it's a nice color and everything, but it almost looks like although it's orange to my eye, it almost looks copper colored compared to that orange. So, what do you do, man? No one's gonna notice it at 150 miles per hour, are they? So, let's move on, man. We're just gonna move on down the road. We got everything set up here to do the tanks. We just sprayed the primer on the fourth side of the tanks. We did the outside with the Bondo, which is now on the downside. Top, bottom, sides, ends. We really just wanted to get this side done. Man, it turned out pretty good. Found a bit of a dent in his here inside of the fuel tank. That's an actual fuel tank. Probably from somebody banging on it to try to knock it off of the mounting bars to get it off the cart. It doesn't take much. this is soft aluminum that they make these tanks out of, you know, so it doesn't take much to botch them up. But this helps us keep the overspray from getting in the tank. It is what it is. The Bondo on this tank really turned out well. I'm really looking forward now to getting the chassis finished, getting it out of there, and then getting the catalyzed primer in there on these tanks, because that's going to be a workable, sandable primer. Really, really good and sandable. So we'll be able to fix any flaws, little dents, dings, scratches, gouges, just like that there on the bottom. Although it's on the bottom, if it was on the side, we could literally fill it with primer and then sand it. Yeah, it's going to turn out well. I mean, we're seeing more flaws, more dents and dings on the inside of this tank that we didn't really notice before. You couldn't really see it with it all roughed up in 36 grit DA sanding, you know, on the raw aluminum. But to look at how nice the surface of that is, and that's right over 36 grit DA paper, you know, right over top of this right here. That's gnarly 36 grit, man. That thing, that'll take your skin right down to the bone and everything in a heartbeat. And look how nice that that surface looks. You know, with a fresh coat of primer on it. So yeah, they'll be ready to go shortly. We'll be able to sit them off to the side. Got the extensions all ready to go as well. So tomorrow we'll come out and we'll run some heat and throw some clear coat with an effect on it. And then we'll clean whatever gun we're using, and we'll just throw a good coat or two of straight clear over top of it, just to get it buried. Whatever we put in there, get her buried up real good underneath some clear coat. And then you know, with that stuff being catalyzed, probably a couple of days we'll be able to yank it out of there. Then it's on like Donkey Kong, right? We'll really be able to start throwing the new bits and pieces on it, start working on it. Got to get some spindle bearings, kingpin bearings for that thing, so we can determine whether we can use the MX spindle on it. I'm really hoping this is the right angle, and we'll be able to use the kitty cart spindles on the MX, because we can always make us up something for the kids, man. You know, we don't want to get into making all this stuff if we don't have to. Would be nice to just have something to put the tailgate brake mounts on, and, you know, cut all this stuff off and rework it up. But we'll see how it goes. We got plenty of time. It's said 19th of January. We got 2.5 months yet before we gotta even think about doomsday, getting this thing ready for April. It doesn't need to run in April. We don't need to take this car to track day. We really want to get the 125 out and see if right now it sits in the state where we swap the leads on the gauge from exhaust temp to water temp to exhaust temp, to see if the varying water temp number on and off throttle follows changing of the leads. If not, then we're going to throw another gauge on it. You know, we can do that too, but, you know, we got kingpins going on there and some other stuff as well. So we'll have to get that thing on scales and get it dialed in once we get the new kingpins and spindles and stuff on that as well. So nothing that we really have to run over there, but we want to, you know, we're going to go. We want to run something, right? So that's it for the 19th, the big update. Like I said, it's 0 day. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen with this this whole debacle here in the States. It is a worldwide issue. People all over the world. You know, being a Christian fella, I talk to folks in Christian forums all over the world, speak different languages, got to use translator just to talk to them. And they're all concerned too. You know, they see the reality of what's going on here, and it's going to affect them in their country as well. So all we can do is pray. At this point, it's out of our hands, right? We just got to pray. So hang in there, folks. I am praying for y'all. Pray for our country, because, you know, if you're watching from outside the U.S., it's going to affect your country too, what happens here. So that's all we can do. Hang in there, folks. God bless y'all. Godspeed.